I'm gonna ask you maybe 3 or 4 questions.
Yeah.
You answer them because this is gonna go in a video, and hopefully it'll
do a lot for LP.
It will do a lot for Living Positive, hopefully. Okay.
I'm gonna put it on the internet and people can watch it. So
Nice.
it just gets the word out.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah, I thought it'd be good for you guys too.
Yeah, that would be nice. Then you can send us a copy of that.
Definitely. I'm gonna put it on a YouTube link and I'm gonna send you the link so you can watch it. Okay.
That would be okay.
Are you recording?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Mom, I want you to explain how you got involved in Living Positive, why you started it, and a little bit about the history behind it. So, what was the purpose and what was your ambition for starting Living Positive?
Well, okay.
How many years ago was it?
That's about 6 years ago. Basically, I'm a social worker by profession, and I worked in the slums here and worked with children. And the only time I was called to come to the slums if a woman has died, and I have to come and pick kids. And a lot of times I was just like called immediately when somebody has just passed on in their houses, and I would come and a dead body is lying like on the bed, and a baby's or somebody's lying just next to it. And then these children would go to the children's center. So basically that was my work. And every time I came and asked what killed the mother, because sometimes I have to collect the history for the child, I would be told it's HIV. And I knew that there were medications that were free. So I was wondering how comes these people don't go for treatment, because basically like every week, almost like every day, I had to come to the slum to pick children because their parents have died. So on and on I started getting interested, like talking to people and asking people whether there are other sick people who are in the houses, and I would go to the houses alongside my work with the children home. So I would go into the houses and just like ask them, go for treatment, you might die like your neighbor or something like that. And eventually I started developing interest in this one, and I thought basically maybe I want to do this one. And because I had worked with so many children's centers, it's not like I just took children to one center, I would take children to many different centers. I had seen like very bad children homes where children were really like hated or mistreated or understaffed and were not able to take care of children. So I started believing in parents taking care of their children. And I knew then that people taking care of these were not, could live longer. So I started thinking that maybe somebody can go through with these women and help them go through for a longer time so that they can take care of their children. So basically that's how I started it, and I started taking a lot of people to hospitals. But then there came a problem of like, you take them to hospital, you come back, they didn't take their medication because they didn't have food. So I talked to the chief and the administration here about that problem. So they gave me the space, like where the daycare is. It was like a garbage site, like the big garbage site, and we just cleaned it up, put up the little room that was there, the next one, the old room that is there, and we just put that, and it was a kitchen. And I got a woman to volunteer, just like to cook whatever I had, like whatever food I can buy was cooked, and all the sick women could come and just sit around there and eat the food and take their medication. So basically that's how our support started. A lot of women then used to come to each other, have company, and then I decided that it looks like a program. Every day I came, and I would spend quite a lot of time there. So I started having a problem with my employer. Like, you have divided, like loyalty, you have something else you want to do. So I just decided one day to quit and just spend the time with the women there. And eventually we had a real like a strong feeding program, because I talked to a lot of people and a lot of my friends started bringing in food, like just dropping in food. It became just like a drop-in where people would drop whatever food and then we would cook it and the women would just eat there. So eventually they were very strong and some of them were already well. So I decided maybe they need to do something. So we started the daycare then, because what happened is a lot of women started now going out to work and babies were left behind. Everybody is like, I can't go, I have nobody to leave my baby with. So then I said, like, let's start a daycare. Let's build 2 more rooms and start a daycare. So I talked to my friends, and I was given the iron sheets, and we didn't have a floor then. So we put the 2 classes alongside the kitchen, and then we stopped the feeding scheme for the women. So we started feeding the kids, and then the women would work, and then they also would want to come and work at the center, because we used to make little cards for sale, and each woman making that would sell them to the market. People used to buy them not because they were good, but because they would help a woman. So people would just come and buy our cards, and every woman would get like their transport to hospital. So basically that's like how Living Positive started, and eventually now the first intern came. What happened is I had worked with the global youth at the center, the children's home, and when they came to the children's homes and I was not there, the next group now recommended, like, the woman we worked with last time was not there, so it's good for somebody to look for her. And some guy named Marcus came back, like, to look for me, like, to see where I went. I think he just came back and was looking for me. That's how our contact with the global youth started. Then we got our first intern. She was from Spain, and we sat down and put structures, and we said then we want to start a program, basically to just empower these women. Ideally, it's just to empower them, that they can earn a skill, get a skill, and go out and do their own things. Then we can always have a new woman who is coming in, and we can help her through her difficult times, and then we can train her, and then she can go away and do her own things. And that's where we are.
So how did Mary get involved?
I knew Mary, like, she also worked in a children's home, in a neighborhood children's home, and she wasn't happy, and every time we met I would tell her, like, I'm doing something of my own, just join me up, you might like it. So like about 3 years ago she decided to try, and she came and she got hooked up. She got stuck here. She was trying to start with. She was trying. Dan was like really against. No, you need to get a professional job and work, and but she came and got hooked up, and I thought it's good for her to hang around to do our administration work, basically because I'm not good at it. I don't like sitting in offices and doing things. So I thought it was very, very good for Mary to sit around, do our administration work, do communication and all those things that I don't want to do. So basically that's how she got involved in it.
So with your program growing to now 30 plus women in it, all with children, either from babies through the daycare, through the public school, and even adults, what do you see as your greatest challenge right now?
Of course, our greatest challenge are finances. I want to do a lot of projects, maybe all at the same time. I have these women that need to be empowered. They don't have houses, they need houses. If we are trying to empower them, it means that we have to start from the grassroots. They have to have good houses. They have to earn a good living that will give them food, you know. So basically finances is a real challenge. We have to remove these children, because the problem here that I've seen is the vicious circle. A lot of these women here were born here, like in the slums. Their parents didn't take them to school, so they lived here. And that's their life. If nobody breaks the cycle, like support their children to go to school and get out of here, then it's going to be the same for the children too. And it will be on and on, and it's going to be there. So basically what we're thinking is a real program that really supports children to have not just education, not just go to a public school, but real quality education, like go to boarding school, concentrate, mix up with children from good families, like rich families, see how they live, see how they behave, and want to compete with them, and want to get out of the slum and do other things. So basically, ideally, that is what we are trying to do. So I think the greatest challenge is finances.
Sure. How is what are your future goals for Living Positive? What's the next step for you guys?
Basically, we have a number of them. But the greatest is to see all these women like independent, that they don't have to depend on the center. Like for example, if I had a woman who has a house, they have earned a skill and are on their own business that is doing well, like a big business, and they're able to compete with any other woman in this town. But that's my greatest goal. That's what we want to do, and that is where we want to get to.
What is Living Positive's philosophy? What do you like to say is your slogan for this place?
I didn't get that.
Your mission. What's your slogan? What would you tell if you were to tell everyone what you're doing? What is it summed
That
up?
we should all give life a new hope.
Giving life a new hope.
Yeah.
Well, then kind of just say your mission statement for me up there. What's your mission statement?
That just what it is there.
You gotta, I can't, you gotta say
That
it.
we are a community-based organization and we strive to care and support orphans and vulnerable children or people living with HIV, affected or infected, through enabling them lead more wholesome lives through information, counseling, support, care, and income-generating activities, living positive beliefs in positive living.
So is your organization strictly for women, or would you take in men?
We're thinking of a men project that's going to learn almost at the same, but they'll have different activities. Because what has come up, keep coming up in our support group is the women have boyfriends. Some of them have husbands. They have people they relate with who are also HIV positive and who feel left out. So we want to reach out to those ones. It's in the pipeline. We're already discussing it. Like we have a task force, a group of men who are infected, discussing it and discussing what we can do together. And we'll have our next meeting on Sunday, like next Sunday. So it's still something that we're thinking about. We don't know which way to go. What are their interests? What is it that they feel that we need to do for them? So I'm basically going to see on Sunday, then I can say, for sure, I want to do it. I want to meet these people and see whether I like them. Yeah.
Well, Mom, on behalf of Global Youth Network and our team, we want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for welcoming us in. We've had just an incredible experience here, and we wish you all the best of luck and new challenges so you continue to grow this wonderful organization.
Well, thank you so much. The pleasure is all mine. I like having the global team. I don't know if they say they're not coming next year, I feel so bad.
No, I think this is probably our biggest
Very
connection.
bad. So I like being with them. It's like they have moved with me right from the beginning. Right from the time Marcus came to this time, they've moved with me. They've seen when we've been very small. The first group that came, we were very small. I think we just had the little heart and we just trying to do things. And they just came to see what I'm doing, and I think I have had a lot of fun working with you people. Thanks.
Thank you, Mom.
Yeah.